Hello, welcome to Reality. I'm Nicole Torpy Mason. On this episode, we are covering Season 1, Episode 4 of Texicanas with Tom Klein. Tom is a comedy booking agent and communications director for Twisted Dreams Film Festival. He co-hosts the podcast Movies with Mark and runs the podcast Off the Rails with Tom and Mark. Be sure to check out his Facebook contest. Tom is giving away a VIP Summerfest Experience pair of tickets for July 6th Captain's Deck at the Briggs & Stratton stage where he will be podcasting. Free drinks with a private bar catered by Saz's, meet and greet with the cast of Lake Michigan Lake Monsters and with the Appletones. See Tom's Facebook for more details on that contest and follow him on Twitter at OffTheRailsTM and online at www.offtherailstm.com. Co-host Ryan Mason will be performing at Voyager at Landmark Lanes on June 11th, at Laughing Liberally on June 15th, at Comedy Sports, and at Twisted Laughs at Twisted Path Distillery on June 19th. Please follow us on Twitter at TO_pod and on Instagram at Welcome to Reality MKE. And now on to the show.
Welcome to Reality. I'm Ryan Mason. I'm joined here, as always, by my beautiful wife, Nicole.
Hello.
Torpy Mason.
Yep.
So everybody knows. You don't know, but if you've listened to before, she did not take my full last name. We're joined tonight by two guests because my wife decided to get a puppy today, the day of recording.
Yeah.
So there's a puppy whose name is Bucky, who you will hear in the background. We're also joined today by a professional podcaster to really highlight how low rent we are.
Oh, God.
So please welcome Tom Klein.
Hi, thanks everybody. Before we start, I just want to say happy anniversary to you guys.
Yes, it is our anniversary. Yeah,
so
absolutely. This is what we chose to do. We were like, let's invite a stranger into our house. We'll get a dog.
And a dog, yeah.
Yeah, we invite as much chaos into our lives as possible. But it is, it's our anniversary. So
how many years?
4 years.
4 years?
4 years,
Congratulations.
Yes. Tom is the producer and host of Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, Off the Rails TM.
Yep.
With also your wife, Molly.
She's not my wife yet, but common law. I've been hitting that for 10 years.
Well, congratulations
That's
to you.
That's how we did it, too.
Yeah, we were 10 years and then we had a kid.
10 years, had a kid, then got married.
Let that be a lesson to you. You know?
Okay.
Sometimes they do buy the cow.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
When you're having sex with a cow. But yeah, it is our anniversary, so cheers to you,
yes.
Nicole. If you're not familiar with our podcast is about introducing reality virgins to the world of reality TV. I'm a stand-up comedian who travels around. I don't get to watch a lot of TV, so Nicole makes me watch a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And that's where Tom comes in.
Yep.
We made him watch Texicanas.
Yeah, a new one.
A new show from Bravo.
Very, very cool.
Sounded very sincere.
It was not what I was expecting. When I hear Texas, I was excited. So I just thought it was ladies from Texas.
Ladies from Texas.
Ladies from Texas.
But it was not what I was expecting.
When I saw it, I thought of Texarkana.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be like Texarkana. We should say I can't read. So that's part of the pod.
Yeah.
Before we get into, I talked a bit about what my podcast is. Can you give people a perspective about what your podcast is? Because I was just on your podcast. It's super fun. To me, it's kind of traditional in the sense that you go over like current events and you guys are laughing and joking the whole time, and it's really high quality. Yeah. So talk a little bit about what you do.
It's just a comedy podcast. We're not actually comedians. We have a couple rotating co-hosts just because life gets in the way a lot of times. We do current events, trending topics. We also have a movie review podcast, Movies with Mark, and we luckily hooked in with a sponsor. We got some good equipment.
God damn it. Now you're just showboating.
I have a...
They do. They have like a studio in... I mean, first of all, like, podcasts can crop up anywhere. I've been on a couple of podcasts here and there, and like, when somebody tells me go to this location, I'm just like, okay, like that's what this is. But yours is in Grafton, Wisconsin.
Yep.
But when you get there to this building, it's just a very unassuming place, and then there's like a podcast studio in it.
Yeah, it's North Shore Academy of the Arts, so they rent out rooms to artists. So I'm technically an artist now.
Perfect.
Nice.
And we rent the music studio. We were in the music room, and we bought all our own equipment
From the ground up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's interesting. That's like kind of like what I'm doing with. I produce 2 comedy shows in the city, and like we've only had a few of the one that we do one for free and we do one that we charge for, and like we're starting to buy some equipment, get a little bit bigger, and like it feels very amazing when you're like, I can't believe telling jokes like bought this microphone stand, like it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So we started probably less off than what you guys are. We had 2 unmatching microphones and a laptop when we started about a year and a half ago, and now we got like 8 microphones and
not so
sound
bad.
systems.
In case like a group of 8 people comes.
Well, we have a band on. We've had a band on before.
Oh, okay.
Everybody gets their own.
Have we had any musicians on?
Madeline
Goodwill of the Derringer, the band Derringer.
Yep, that's right.
She's a good friend of ours, and she has a podcast now. Should we plug her podcast?
Yeah, First Cousins podcast.
First Cousins podcast out in Waukesha. We talked a lot about Waukesha on your podcast.
Yeah, we did. We did.
All good things.
Yes, because all good things come from Waukesha.
The Waukesha police blotter is like my favorite thing. This dog is sniffing around, so you guys probably hearing some dog noises. Before we get started with breaking into Texicanas.
Texicanas.
Did I just call it Texicanas?
Yeah.
Texicanas.
There you go.
So reality TV, do you watch anything right now?
Yeah, I watch a little bit of reality TV. I'm usually stuck with my girlfriend. Just recently got into Naked and Afraid big time.
Ooh.
We like that show.
And
That's a good one.
I hate watching it with her because I have like a medical background, and she's always like, you think that's going to get infected? Like, they're in the jungle of police with no clothes or anything. It's getting infected. Well, what do you think's going to happen? I don't care. It's one. You've seen
so many bug bites.
So many bug bites.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen one show. It's kind of like you don't need to see another one once you. It's the same thing. I don't like Deadliest Catch anymore because they're not putting out anything new.
Yeah. I mean, those shows are really like
some shows.
formulaic,
Some
too.
shows are formula though, and you're like they do the same thing over and over again, and I could just like Dr. Pimple Popper is like that. I could watch Dr. Pimple Popper on like repeat for like fucking hours.
I've called for like a late night Dr. Pimple Popper like.
What is it about girls that like popping guys' pimples? Have you noticed?
I don't actually like doing it myself. But I do like watching it. It's like it's just like
it's
satisfying.
like primal to our ape roots. I think.
Yeah.
Because I've had girlfriends that are like, "Let me get your back." Like, get off my back! What are you doing?
Keep it popping, Dr. Pimple Popper.
It just seems so satisfying to get that big like thing out of there. I don't know. It just
that's what she said.
It's primal.
So that's what you watch right now is Deadly or Naked and Afraid.
Sometimes I watch. I used to like the old Chef Ramsay.
Okay.
Like the original, but now he does too much stuff with kids, and I just
softened him.
What I want is the old Chef Ramsay
Hell's
going
Kitchen.
off on the kids.
What was the
ripping the kids?
Like Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah,
I love Kitchen Nightmares. That's a great show.
So good.
They brought it back a little bit. What was that called? To Hell and Back or something like that?
That's still on. I watched that last night.
And that's basically Kitchen Nightmares. I mean...
Yeah. But, I mean, imagine him just ripping into a kid like, your mother should have swallowed, like, you feed me this garbage. And, like,
I feel like
that's what I want.
I know somebody else said that, too, that they were like, oh, I watched that and I just want to see him. Oh, Tyler Moss. Tyler Moss was saying that of Milwaukee Record.
Oh,
so.
Although I will say I've watched some of his like BBC shows, and I think him being mean is a little put on for the American audience.
Okay.
Because some of his BBC shows are like just generally really good.
So we talked a little bit about what reality shows you currently watch. What have you grown up watching? Because we're like the same age. Like, so what was like the first reality show you watched?
NFL football. I mean, that's got to be the only...
in the 90s it was much more like spectacular, like Deion Sanders. Like Deion Sanders was a legit like reality show.
Yeah, he was. And Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders playing 2 sports. He had Bo Jackson playing 2 sports, and it was...
That was like a thing you could follow, like outside of just the...
Yeah. Michael Jordan's retiring.
The Bulls in the 90s were kind of a spectacle, too, because they were. Rodman...
When Rodman came, and then this
was... In a wedding dress for his book signing.
It was huge in the 90s. But everybody comes in a wedding dress nowadays. Doesn't blink an eye, but...
True.
It is.
I mean, I grew up in Chicago area in the 90s, so the Bulls were just like an ever-present.
The Bulls were my team too.
They were just like...
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Bucks, I was a Suns fan because I liked Barkley. My brother was a Bulls
Barkley.
fan. I mean, yeah,
but he was also
Barkley
kind of reality
too.
spectacle as well.
Did you hear about him throwing the guy through Major Goolsby?
Yeah, through
Twice.
a plate glass
Oh, I
window.
heard it was Rascals.
Major Goolsby's twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew he threw a guy through a window, but...
He talked about it and when they were here, like, with Inside the NBA. He was, like, I was a huge fan of Charles Barkley. But that's, like, I'm like you. I grew up watching sports, so, like, sports was my intro into, like, the world of reality.
I don't even know what was reality.
Did you watch Real World? Cops?
No.
Did you watch Cops?
Cops once in a while.
I think, like, the big things, maybe not in the 90s, but... Well, yeah, I don't know. 90s, early 2000s was, like... all those Fox shows, like I Want to Marry a Millionaire.
Yeah, Joe
Millionaire.
Joe Millionaire was probably 2000-ish, but that was my favorite.
Yeah, I was a big fan.
Favorite.
It's a really good one.
It is really
You were
good.
in on the joke.
Yeah, and I often
The Swan.
reference
Swan
My
I
Big
watched.
Fat Obnoxious Fiance.
You did watch The Swan?
I did watch The Swan.
What was it about it that, like, drew you to it?
It was that they just reconstructed and smashed these ugly chicks' face and still made them work out when they should have been resting. Like, not only am I going to destroy your ugly face, get on this treadmill and not heal so you can lose 40 pounds.
It's such a wild concept that, like...
There's no way that clears insurance nowadays.
No, there's a show called, like, Bridalplasty. I think it's still on. I could be wrong. It might be reruns.
That's wild.
But it's, like, about... women who want to get work done before their wedding, which seems like a terrible idea.
Cut that shit up, get me ready to go. Yeah.
But I really liked Queer Eye as well when I was growing up, and that was like that was probably the early 2000s.
That was such a Queer Eye to me was like
Queer Eye now,
I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin. I didn't know a lot of gay people, so I was like, what is this? And I was like, I guess I should dress nicer. Like that was like one of those things.
Yeah. There also was a great show that like is very problematic, but me and my mom watched, which was called Boy Meets Boy, which is essentially a gay dating show. It was like The Bachelor. There's like one guy and he was meeting. Oh gosh, this must have been. I think in high school. So 2002, 2003, something like that.
I don't remember that one.
It was on whatever Bravo is now. Logo? No. Whatever. There was like a channel.
Logo.
No, Logo's one now. But it was a channel that was like.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Marketed towards gay folk. But it was like The Bachelor sort of, where it was like one guy who was dating like 15 other dudes, but like the twist was some of them were straight, which is like so problematic now.
Are you trying to win though? If you're a straight guy, what?
Yeah. So if he picked,
I'm in it to win it. I'm watching sports.
I could be wrong, and I'd have to look this up, but I believe if he picked a straight dude, that guy won like a certain amount of money or something, which is like so weird and like I don't know, it's so weird. But
so then the gay guy is brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And the straight guy wins money.
I think I could be wrong.
That sounds awesome.
But I will say one of the most memorable moments of the show is he got to have his like best friend with him on the show, and when they revealed the twist to him, they didn't say who was straight, obviously, but they said, just so you know, there's like some straight folk here. She like flipped out, and he was like, it's okay, I'll figure it out, and she was like, they're gonna embarrass you, she's kind of right. Like they're kind of making fun of you and embarrassing you or whatever. But
that's
like,
part of what like a lot of reality is. It's just like embarrassing.
Well, you can only pretend to be gay so long. Like when
I don't know how much money is involved.
Like I mean, when he whips it out and starts putting his hand on the back of your neck, it's time to.
But if they're like but you're looking at that check over there off screen. You're thinking like, I'd like to own a boat.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends. Everybody has a price, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has.
Also, like I'm sure I don't remember, but I'm sure he was good looking.
So let's talk about a little bit. You guys. You put your stuff on Facebook Live, so you kind of have like a reality aspect to your show. It's kind of like when like Howard Stern used to film his show, and then it would show up on the E! Network at like late hours. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I remember as a 14-year-old boy staying up and watching that shit.
Yeah,
for nothing basically.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the feel of what you guys do a little bit.
Well, we do a Facebook Live for the regular show. We do 2 shows because we want to put 2 out a week. So we do a formatted live show so we can share it and get audience interaction. So the way I run it is I come and I do all the work. I do all the stories. I bring everything. And the guest and the co-host have no idea what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah,
That
that's what's fun about it.
So the audience will have questions, but they feel like they're part of the conversation that way.
Yeah,
because
cool.
somebody else is asking the questions they would have.
Which, it's a good challenge for comedians because, like, I'm pretty extemporaneous in my style, but some aren't. So it's like cool to like see people have to answer because you really do put people on the spot. You know? Which is it's
comedians get the special hot seat, which I may bring for more people.
Yeah,
that's where I just ask the most random questions.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just want to say it was $25,000, which doesn't seem like enough.
Oh yeah, that's not enough.
It's not enough.
What if it was?
So
if they were like it's 25 million, I'd be like,
25 million.
Okay,
don't even question.
It also seems as if they put them into some sort of groups so that it would prevent him from immediately kicking off all the straight people.
Okay.
Like, so if he was like, yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. There's just one guy just constantly like doing super straight guy things, like stereotypical. He's just like, you know, like I don't even know.
Looking up
like
boob pictures on his phone.
I don't know.
No, because I think like.
Now it's like
like a lumberjack. You're saying that's like a super.
There's nothing gay about that.
Yeah.
There
like
wasn't a lumberjack in the Village, people.
Yeah. God damn it, you're right. You couldn't possibly this big, strong, hairy guy. Come on.
Spends his time alone with other men.
He likes to be at the pancake breakfast with all his friends. So let's stop talking about that. Let's talk about Texicanas.
Sure.
Texicanas. All right.
What's your first take? What did you think it was going to be?
Like I thought it was going to be like strong Texas Republican women,
big hair.
So like the friend, what's Janet? Janet is like Luz's friend. She's like the white woman.
Yeah.
She's not. She's like a friend of.
So yeah, tell them what it's about first. It's about Mexican women who have married into a rich American. Not necessarily like the typical Texan, but just a rich lifestyle. So it's a Mexican girl that is married into a Texas rich lifestyle.
Some of the women are rich.
They were before.
Yeah, before.
Because the one girl
like
was
in Mexico, too.
Yeah,
was talking about a servant had trouble waking her up. So
what a story that was.
Yeah, I mean, it fits the motif of a lot of Bravo shows where it's like, rich people, what are their lives like? So that part's like kind of interesting. And we should say they're in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
So when you say typical Texan, I wonder if San Antonio, like the typical Texan's probably Hispanic.
I'm thinking Hank Hill.
Yeah, like you're saying like the stereotypical, not that because they're probably, I would assume
there's probably less Hank Hills than
and more
thinking,
like Latin folk in that area for sure. I mean, it's like pretty close to the border, right?
So you were like, oh, it's going to be following around just like big hair, socialite.
Well, if you're interested in that, I would offer you Real Housewives of Dallas because that is a delight.
That's exactly
and that's what you're looking
That's
for.
what I want.
Yeah.
You would love Real Housewives of Dallas.
That's like one of my faves, and it's coming back soon.
And they are like, the thing about the women of Dallas is they are exactly to a T kind of what you would expect. Although I would expect more blondes, and most of them are like red hair, dark brown hair. But they all have great, like, Southern colloquialisms that they use, like, all the time. With stuff that you're just like... You know how, like, Dr. Phil will say things and you're like, that's not a thing. But it sounds like it's a thing.
So I'm not going to question you.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like, and it's very fun to watch. But these women had... the weird part was, like, it felt like a Spanish lesson because they were always, like, saying, like, and this is a blah.
Well, the weird part about this show is there's a narrator. Yeah. Like, typically on reality shows, especially Bravo, they do the interviews, and they kind of, everybody sort of, they edit things together so everyone is sort of narrating, but this one has a woman who is like, and like she'll say things like, and boy, is that going to come back to get her. Yeah. Meanwhile, Luz was with her friend. Like, she literally is, like, narrating the show, which is really strange.
That is odd.
Do you like that? Like, as a first-time watcher?
The thing that threw me off as a first-time watcher is... when they did do the interviews, they were really done up and did not look like the reality part.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm trying to get the names right, and I'm like, that's not Luz.
Yeah, the one woman, her makeup is so extreme. Who is Myra?
Yeah, it looks like she's covering up that she headbutted a beehive.
I don't know what it is. Her makeup's like tremendous, like too much.
Oh no, I'm thinking, who's the girl who's... This is going to sound mean, but her face kind of looks like a foot. Was that the... Luz in her interviews or something?
Maybe.
Luz was the one who was wearing like the weird skull
She had the like swollen face.
I think it's the darker haired woman.
I think that's
Okay.
Lorena.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think that's
that-
right.
yeah.
She has a really
Yes.
round face. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I didn't think her makeup was good at all.
Who did you like? Who was the one where you're like, yes, please, more of that, please? There was one that I was like, oh, who is that? She was like a thicker gal. You said that she's like, she has a very interesting name.
Oh, Annie Yancy.
Annie Yancy. I was like, who's
She
that?
looks good a lot of the times, but then she does that weird thing where it's like a shimmery nude lip, and it just like the lip looks like it's gotten out of control.
It's gonna shock you, but that doesn't matter for me.
I know, but like
Tom, you like a nude lip?
it's
Take
not
a nude lip
I
here
don't
and there.
dislike a nude lip. I'm saying she does that like shiny nude lip, which makes your lips
Yeah.
look like you got an allergic reaction.
She
happen.
just, yeah, well, that's like a lot of the women on Real Housewives just have like gigantic surgical lips.
And again, please no shade.
Put that fucking.
Fill my face full
yeah.
of poison, but
Yeah.
like sometimes it's too far.
So let's talk about what happened on the episode. Let's just like run through it. The first thing that I wrote down is that it's very hard to understand. But Nicole, go through the episode a little bit with us, and Tom, jump in when there's something that you that stood out to you.
I don't know. They do this thing that Bravo shows do a lot that I'm gonna just like point out and then I'll skip over, where they do like a quick check in. So it'll be like Lorena waking up, and then it'll be like so and so waking up or whatever. So they did that because Lorena.
Who was the woman who woke up and then she's like, "Well, I get up before everybody else and I make everyone breakfast."
That was Lorena.
That's such a bunch of bullshit. Like,
Is that the one who was pan frying a bagel and burned it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? There's no oil, no nothing. You just put it on a metal
this
pan.
Is all a fucking act because like she's
Yeah,
just like, I get up
probably.
every morning, I make breakfast for my family, and then she's pan frying a bagel. It's like, what are you?
Well,
what are you
they
doing?
touch
No,
on
you
it.
don't.
They touch on this later, but like so Lorena and Carla. Wait, was it Carla? I think it was Carla.
They're hard to keep track of.
Yeah, they kind of are, and this is the first season, and it's a new show, so I don't know them quite as well. But
Have
they
a thing.
they like there's
That's
like this
why.
weird thing where like everybody sort of throws shade at them because they have these like quote unquote famous brunches or lunches,
Yes.
which appears to just be like their stay at home moms whose kids now are school age, so they just go to like 3-hour lunches and drink together,
Fuck
which is
yeah.
like
That sounds awesome.
again no shade, but it really felt like she was like, I have to like. My husband's gonna see this, and I want him to think I do a lot of work. And she's like, I don't know what to do with a bagel. Put it in a pan. Like,
I love a
And
pan
burn
fried.
it.
Don't you love a pan fried
Nothing
bagel?
beats a pan fried bagel.
You know what? A lot of people, Tom, they'll toast it. And I'll tell you what. When I'm in San Antonio, I like to do my bagels San Antonio style.
it's famous.
Yeah.
It's famous.
Cast
San Antonio's.
iron grill.
What if
right
we
on the
found out
stove.
that's like a San Antonio style bagel?
So like
It's,
somebody's
been-
calling.
Oh, we didn't know.
they're just
Manager
like-
Ginobili's on the phone right now. Actually, that's how we do it. So that's like they reveal right away that it's San Antonio. They show like the Riverwalk and stuff like that. I don't know much. Have you ever been to San Antonio?
No,
I haven't
been
either.
to Texas.
The only thing I know about San Antonio is from like watching
It looks
the
great
Spurs.
though.
Okay.
You know, so like
I mean,
it
that
looked
Riverwalk
beautiful.
and everything
I
looks
suppose
great.
their homes look.
I had a buddy,
Big.
Kraut, who was stationed in Texas.
Shout out to Kraut
Kraut.
if you're listening.
Gary Kraut Kramer. So Kraut, he said it was really weird because everybody in cable, in Texas has cable, no matter how poor you are.
Really?
And it's to the point where he tried to cancel cable, and the cable company said, "We've never encountered this. Do you mind just not watching it because we don't know how to turn it off?"
And I'm like,
You got it.
So it's like
will not
old
watch
trailers
it.
and everything. Everybody has cable. That is
Wow.
before
Probably because
food.
they just spend a lot of time inside because it's like hot.
It's
as
hot.
fuck,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I would
Not all
imagine.
of Texas though.
I mean, San Antonio.
San Antonio
San
certainly.
Antonio is.
Yeah.
Well, you can drive for 8 hours and still be in Texas.
Yeah.
You know.
San Antonio strikes me as a place that it gets to be like 50 degrees and everyone freaks out.
Yeah. So the other thing that I wrote down at first was just like these people are very traditional. Like gender roles are very traditional. Like the women do women stuff, quote unquote.
There
and
were
then-
two non-traditional women.
Yes.
Who were they? Do you remember?
Except Lorena
Okay.
and Luz.
Lorena?
Did they have
No,
jobs?
Lorena is traditional. Luz
Oh.
is not. Because Lorena was the one who was like, I stay at home and blah,
Oh,
blah,
Myra.
blah.
Myra was
It's
the one who was
Myra,
like, I
yeah.
have a business.
Yeah, there were two very independent women.
Yeah, because
It seems like that's where the, like,
Myra's husband
clash is gonna
is
come.
not, like, she's the breadwinner in the family, supposedly. But yes, that had been, like, a setup. There's the traditional Mexican women and the,
Yeah,
like,
it seems like
machismo
that's
husbands,
obvious.
and then the non-traditional Mexican women.
Yeah. I don't know. If I can get an independent Mexican woman who can, take care of the money and pay for a bag.
I should say they're all American citizens with the exception of Ani Yancy. So
If she needs that green card, look out, Nicole.
she's working on it.
What do you think about Sister Wife? What do you think?
There you go.
I don't think they acknowledge that in the green card
Yeah, she
situation.
can pan fry a bagel, and then she has to yell at the kid to get off the stripper pole, which is in the centerpiece of the living
What was
room.
that? Let's talk about that. Whose house was that at?
That's Penny,
Okay.
the narrator.
Okay, and
She does like that stripping for good body,
like
the
exercise
exercise
thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the kid seemed like he knew what he was doing out there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's tough.
It's in the living room.
Yeah, I'm
mean,
sure that if we had a
I'd have been
stripper pole
playing Ghostbusters or
Yeah.
something, but
our kid would be doing that. And don't get it, if you're a pedophile and you're listening, please, just
I would say
give us
don't-
a good review
No,
on
don't.
iTunes.
I would say don't
There you
listen.
go.
Or don't listen. Don't
Yeah.
listen. Yeah. I thought that was odd because like little kids are definitely going to play with that stuff.
yeah.
Speaking
Oh.
of stuff little kids shouldn't play with, another big part of the episode is guns.
Guns, yes, I was very excited.
So this probably spoke to you as
I'm like, hey, yeah, as a hunter and everything, I'm like, all right. It was really weird to me because in Texas, the concealed carry class seemed to just be,
Shoot a gun.
here's how you aim,
yeah.
let's shoot the gun, and that's it. No laws, no
I
situations.
said that when I was watching this episode. I was like, "This is wild," because they basically were like, "Okay, try and shoot a gun," and then at the end, they
Here's
all
your
had shot a gun.
diploma.
They're like, "You all have passed concealed carry," and I was like, "Wait, what?"
What?
Like,
All
I
they
just thought
did
they were
was
at a range.
they're like, this is how the sights work. You're going to want to aim and line these up, and whatever you want to kill, you point it there and that'll kill it. And then
the one lady's like, I want to shoot him in the balls, and the guy's like, great.
Great.
Let's get you
Perfect.
to aim right at the balls.
So let's make sure you can fire a gun, and then you pass.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Also,
what-
can I ask a quick question? And this is,
Yeah.
I want to be very careful about how I ask this, but like, is there no restrictions on whether or not
Who you sell a gun to?
No,
Like,
I assume there's
citizenship?
not in Texas, but like citizenship wise,
I think like
because
once
Ani
you,
Yancy,
yeah,
definitely
let her shoot
she
it
got
out.
a.
She's not a citizen,
She didn't.
Okay.
She didn't. She has a green card, I'm sure.
right?
Of
That's
some,
probably it's
of
Texas.
some
They probably
nature.
you probably wake up in the morning. They're like, "Here's your gun," like
And
somebody
like,
shows
let's
up
be
to your
serious.
house.
It's not like green card holding Mexican people who are like shooting up
Yeah.
places, but
So I'm not a gun person. Although I've shot guns and like bachelor parties out in the woods, or I've been hunting before for birds, not for like big animals. And like I'm not a person who like owns guns or whatever. But I will say this: I always say this: it's fucking thrilling to shoot a gun.
Yeah,
So like
it's fun.
these women are like doing this, and I'm like, oh, I get it. Like it makes total sense to me. But it was also confusing because I didn't really understand what their purpose for it was. Was it just like a fun?
I
girls'
think
night?
one of them is like a. I forget which one. I think.
What did you think, Tom?
The thing that also shocked me about the guns is they didn't show how far the target was, and if you ever shoot a pistol, you'll realize that you are not accurate. So they had to
Right.
be from me to you away.
Yeah,
to
'cause they
how
were
these
hitting
girls
those
were
targets.
just grouping it like RoboCop.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm like,
did think
what?
that was wild, but
Are-
they all
no.
seem like great shots.
What if they weren't? What if it was like, yeah, that's 40 feet.
and
they're just
the
like-
targets were moving.
Yeah, and they're
Now-
all just
Yeah.
like fucking. We're just really good at it.
Now
just
I
really
want to
good.
say that I've never shot a real gun, but the one time I shot a handgun.
A handheld gun.
Did you play Nintendo? Were you playing Duck Hunt?
Tom, you like a handheld gun?
No, I mean like
Handheld
it was
gun.
a BB gun, but it was like it looked like a
pistol?
handgun. It wasn't like
Like
a
an airsoft. Yeah.
Yeah.
I picked it up. I took one shot. It ricocheted and hit my best friend, and I was like, I'm done with this.
Well, in
I've shot a
Texas,
handgun,
you get
yeah.
your.
They're like,
concealed
here's
carry,
your
right?
concealed
There you
carry.
go.
Like, hey, great shot. There you go.
Good job.
Yeah.
Shout out to Melinda
Dick Cheney
Riker. Hit
did
her.
that too,
Melinda
so you guys
Chisholm.
have that in common.
Yeah, Dick Cheney's
That's
best
true,
friend
that's
had a
true.
great quail call. That was the problem. He sounded too
What
much.
is it? Blam. Yeah, I the place that they went to, I was like, this seems fun. It also seems problematic because they're just like selling like, here's a gun that's got it's a pink gun. Oh, fun. Like, I don't like the like turning guns into like bumper stickers, or you know what I mean, like it should still be treated like a weapon,
a deadly weapon.
Deadly weapon, which it is. And they were like, this one matches my
they all dressed like they were coming out of the Matrix.
Can we talk about their outfits?
Yes.
Because they definitely were like, what do you wear when one shoots a gun? And Anna Yancy had a shirt on
fedora with skulls on
no,
it.
no, that was loose. But Anna Yancy had a shirt on that was like one of those I don't even know what they're called, but it's not just like sleeveless, but it's like where the sleeve connects to like a oh gosh, I don't know how to explain this. So no, it's like as if you had a like a sleeveless shirt or like a tube top, but then the sleeves attach right to the tube top kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like her arm motion had to be restricted.
she couldn't lift her arms like
and it was like leather. It was like or not leather. It was like
oh god.
Yeah,
like
it was
plastic.
some sort of.
And some guy with a beard like who like probably fought in Iraq is just like, okay, well, here's your gun.
Here you go.
I will say one of my favorite instructions that the instructor gave was like, he was like, if you need to point or do whatever, don't do it with the gun. And then he made a motion as if he had a gun in his hand and then like wildly, like,
yeah.
He was like, don't do that.
The
and I was like,
safety course.
That's great.
That was it.
I agree with that. Don't.
So you hunt, are you a hunter? So from a perspective of somebody who uses guns, what's your take as like a safety first person?
I don't even own a pistol. I don't like them. It's too much power in your hand to wield.
Yeah.
You feel like
amazing.
I am taking no shit ever. No.
Yeah.
I will win every argument. I just don't like
that's a good
them.
point, because when you think about women on Bravo shows, they're the last person on the earth who should have such a feeling. You know what I mean?
Of absolute dominance.
They're like, I'm not going to take any shit. Like, can you imagine if, like, Ramona... Like, if this was the women of New York...
Well, yeah, I mean...
It would be a problem.
They're from New York, so I'm sure they've never shot a gun, but
yeah. Although they're all Republicans.
Not all of them, no.
Most of them. They're all Trump people because they knew him. Okay. That's the thing.
But that's... Okay, whatever. I don't want to... Let's just...
We talked about that in a different episode.
Okay, no problem.
I'm just saying, imagine Vicky Gunvalson with a gun.
That would be fun. So they keep doing this, like, Spanish lesson type of thing during the episode, where the person comes on and they say, like, a word, and they're like...
I don't think it was, like, a Spanish lesson. I think they're saying,
Did you learn
like,
any Spanish on this?
No.
No. You're already fluent, though.
Yeah. I took Spanish 2 in high school. That's as good as I go.
Yeah, me too.
I just read a lot of the subtitles, which sometimes they were speaking English and still needed subtitles.
Yeah, that's not
uncommon.
That's not uncommmun for a lot of reality shows, like the
Swamp
90 Day
People.
Fiancé. Yeah, Swamp People. See, you know the good ones. See, you were holding out. You knew Swamp.
I knew Swamp People.
Yeah,
Swamp
that was a
People's
good
stuff.
one.
Chuta. That's what they got.
Shoot 'em, Elizabeth. Shoot 'em.
Oh my god, I
Oh
love that.
man, I love that.
That guy was the best.
Those two brothers that lived in like the swamp. Rest in peace, Glenn. I believe.
Oh
his
yeah,
name
one of
was.
them died.
Yeah.
I always like watched that show and I was like, it's impossible these people are alive still. Like the job
Do you
that they
remember
have.
the one time that guy shot and it like ricocheted and hit his like son in the face? And the mom was like pulling gun. Like
bullets.
Bullet fragments.
They're called bullets, Nicole. You know, when you have your
Handheld, like the handheld gun
part.
bit.
How do you know?
Yeah, that was the like young-looking kid who didn't have many teeth, right?
Oh
the
god,
blonde
yeah, and he
kid.
You're
was
gonna have
so
to be more
pale.
specific.
He was so pale. He never put sunscreen on. He'd always be like outrageously sunburned, and I was just like, this kid is gonna have the worst
I know.
skin cancer.
It was like they look like every person in Waukesha.
Don't
Sorry.
worry, the gun bullet ricochets killed the cancer when he got shot in the
His
face.
mom like pulling him out, being like, "This is why I don't like this." Like just pulling him out, like
I told you,
it's like Terminator, you know,
goddamn
like,
gators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that show is
That
great.
show's
People
great.
should check that out. We should do that show. Do like a throwback episode.
Oh god, and sorry.
Let's take a little break,
Sure.
and we took this. This truly did go off the rails for a moment,
Sweet.
Good
and we will be
time.
right back with Tom Klein on Welcome to Reality. Okay, we are back. There's still a dog here, and it has fallen asleep.
She's adorable.
She is adorable.
Also, Tom Klein is here, and we're talking
also
about
adorable.
Tom Adorable.
adorable. I'm very adorable. Look at these blue eyes. And
Yeah,
try not
those
to fall
baby
in love.
blues. Those baby blues. Podcast host extraordinaire, producer of comedy shows. Tom Klein. We're talking about Texicanas. We've kind of talked about some of the characters that have appeared in the show, but you wrote down a lot of stuff, so I'm interested to hear you fly through some of the points that came up for you, because you're, show me how the pros do it.
Okay, how the pros do it is, I was thinking about these girls and why there's drama. So I really psychoanalyzed this. And I thought to myself, you know what? These girls really have a small world.
Yeah, San Antonio.
Well, they're rich.
Yeah.
And they are housewives. And they are Mexican girls. So they have the background culture that they share with this small group of friends.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to cause too much drama, but when you're in such a small clique of super rich people,
Yeah.
you don't really get to choose.
It's
your
probably
friends.
like being like from Sheboygan and having your parents be like working at Kohler.
Okay, but
You know what I mean? Like, so you're rich, but you live in a small town.
Do you think they're
Yeah.
actually rich?
That's a
Did
good
you see them
question.
buy art supplies? They didn't give a fuck. You know how expensive
That's
that was?
true. Yeah,
That is true. That
For the
person
kid to
seemed
make
rich.
I
one
did mention
stupid
that.
shirt for
Did I
his
mention?
dad.
Did I say that? I was
I'm
like,
she's just putting all the colors in there. They're probably
I
like
was-
$40 a piece.
Oh yeah, when
Yeah.
and when you go to like a craft store, an art supply store, that
It's
shit
expensive.
adds
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
When you
She
start to
dropped
like,
$400 for this kid to make a T-shirt for the dad who owns like a nightclub and doesn't give a fuck.
I love. Okay. Oh, I love. What did
The
you think
Greek
about
guy?
the nightclub guy?
The nightclub. I know a lot of Greek people, so there's
Brag.
no way.
Brag. Super brag.
There's no way this guy's.
You want to
loyal.
get a spanakopita? Tom can get you a guy.
oh
You,
boy.
what'd you say?
There's no way this guy's loyal
yeah.
because
Oh.
every Greek businessman sleeps with their employees.
Yeah.
It's just.
I mean, I
the way it
can't. I
goes.
don't want to say everyone, but
Nicole, that's your experience too.
How many? Okay.
I worked for a Greek
Well,
gentleman
this is
at some
terrible
point.
news for me and my best friends.
Have you ever worked for
Stavros Papadopoulos?
Greek gentleman that did not sleep with his employees.
Giannis.
No, that's what I'm saying. I worked for a Greek gentleman. Don't you dare bring Giannis into this. He's a saint, and I
The
don't want to
Greek
hear
freak?
anything
We
about
should
it.
say that we operate out of the Milwaukee area, and Giannis Antetokounmpo is like, he's our world right
I don't
now.
even care about basketball, but I stalk him and his girlfriend on Instagram, and they're adorable.
Yeah, he's a great, or she's like a good follow. She runs his Instagram. He doesn't give a shit about Instagram.
No.
There's no way he controls his Instagram.
Not at
Because
all.
she'll post pictures of like herself, and it'll be like, my world, my everything.
How
and you're like,
dare
that's
you?
not him.
How
That's
dare
not
you?
him at all.
No way.
What? That's
Because
weird.
he's Greek. He's out banging all these other chicks. There's
Well,
no way
he has
can-
the largest hands in the NBA too.
Oh, that's
so.
it's too
Whoa.
much. That's too much.
You know how many chicks want to challenge that?
And I don't.
No,
but,
no.
You mean like at the rim?
Yeah, he'll stuff them.
That's too much. There's a top out. You know.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
think.
He
I
seems so
don't know.
young. But yeah.
I know he's too young for me to like.
I think we could also just say, like, I know you're like, oh, Greek nightclub owners. I'm just going to put this out there. All nightclub owners.
Yeah, because Lisa
Vanderpump.
Vanderpump
Okay.
did say that Ken Todd was a
No, a philanderer?
when they first met, and then he settled down for her. But they got married after knowing each other for like 6 weeks. That's a
Fair
woman
enough.
from Real
All
Housewives.
right.
of-
So my
Okay.
point was, they
Yeah,
live in
sorry.
a very small world,
Yeah.
and they have a group of friends that it's almost like the Amish. That if you get shunned from that group, you're alone completely.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
this
Shout out
girl
to Breaking
who,
Amish.
one of the girls was talking about how hard it was to be a mother when her husband's gone. And are you really gonna sit and listen to this girl bitch about being a mom who's rich and doesn't have to do
No.
anything else? I mean,
You
she
got
can't
a
relate
dog.
to you.
No, yeah, did you think you could, like, relate to these people?
I mean, I get it. It is hard when your partner's gone.
Whoa.
She didn't seem
But
to have a
Things
nanny.
just got really real in here, you guys.
She didn't seem to have a nanny.
No.
That's right. I travel for comedy, you guys. I
Yep.
go to places like the UP, or I don't know. Have you heard of it? Indiana, where all the good comedians go.
Where the
okay?
Ku Klux Klan was first formed.
I probably performed in front of them. I performed on the Indiana-Kentucky border.
Yeah,
Like, there's casinos out there.
Molly's my girlfriend.
people.
Her family is from Indiana, and I always remind them that.
Oh yeah, they probably love that.
Yeah.
If any of them are listening, go jump in a link.
You have now called out pedophiles and KKK
Now, are you
Indiana
saying
people.
Molly's family should go jump in a lake, or the
Specifically,
KKK?
yeah.
should
Sorry,
go jump
Molly.
in a
No,
lake?
Molly seems tremendous.
I can't stand eating with people from Indiana.
Is that
can't.
because it's
They
just like
they take a. It takes forever. So
Yeah,
they take
slow,
a bite, they
very
put their
slow.
stuff down, they wipe their mouth, they put the thing on their lap, they talk to you, and then they take another bite.
that.
And I I scarf it down, and you'll be sitting at a buffet, and it's like an hour and 15 minutes.
Are you from Wisconsin originally?
Yeah.
Your accent seems to indicate that you are.
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin.
Where
and
from the
we
north?
don't. I was born in Milwaukee, grew up in Jackson.
Oh, okay.
So
Jackson.
Yeah. Jackson. It's like kind of like Saukville, like that area, right?
Oh, I just went to Saukville. It's a lovely
like
place.
West Bend area.
Yeah.
I guess that Washington County area. So.
So yeah, I can understand. Like, I grew up with a brother, so it was like, your food was yours unless it was he wanted it. So yeah. We eat kind of fast. But your family, different eating.
My little brother eats at a snail's pace.
Yes.
I can't
They're
say
from
that.
Chicago.
But everybody else,
everybody's talking all the time.
It's loud.
Okay.
It's loud and boisterous and such. But yeah, Indiana seems like slow, deliberate, kind of that way. Although Kentucky people talk like crazy. Like they just like. Blah, 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 blah.
Never been to
very
Kentucky,
fast.
just
I like
Indiana.
Kentucky. I love like the people of Kentucky are super friendly, and like Indiana, yes, very friendly as well. So hope to get booked there.
Certain parts you may. I've watched Deliverance.
Yeah, no, there's good comedy in Indiana, like Yuck Fest in Indianapolis. Indianapolis has some great comedians too.
I bet there's like I bet there's
Price,
like in
dude's
any
funny
like
as fuck.
red state there's probably like some really super fun like I don't know, like quote unquote alternative type venues and like punk scenes and things
Where?
like that. In any red state, like there's got to be like outlets for people who are
well,
not,
it's kind of like Athens, Georgia, or like like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, those places exist. Also, like the big cities are gonna have mic scenes and stuff like that. But Milwaukee's the best one so far.
There you go.
No.
There's mics every night.
Yeah, there are.
I'm gonna steer us back to this
Texicanas.
But so you started sort of talking about this, but I think the main the big sort of drama of the season so far has been the argument between Luz and Myra.
Yeah. So there's a phone call that Myra is on a call with Luz, and I think Luz is the one who says, quote, I just want to make sure you're willing to listen during the conversation on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And I wrote down after that, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a fucking, like bitchy thing to say, like, pardon my French, but if a friend of mine said that who I was in an argument with, I would be like, yeah, fuck you, click. Like, that's... What did you think of that? Did you write something for that?
Yeah, I actually wrote boom.
Oh, so you liked it. You thought it was a power move.
Yeah, but she did get her back when it was, we're on different levels of maturity.
Yeah, she did.
Ooh,
See, but here's the I just want to clarify because that doesn't sound...
People have definitely said that about me.
The woman had already... So, Luz and Myra have gotten into a fight, and Myra called Luz and asked for a meetup, and they had already agreed to meet up. So once they had already agreed to meet up, she was like, okay, but I do want to just make sure that you're going to listen to me. So it wasn't just like... It was very, like...
Patronizing,
yeah.
Very.
That's the kind of thing where, like, if I saw two people who were in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend, or married people, and I heard, and I was with a guy and his wife said that or his girlfriend said that, I'd be like, you need to just break up with that person.
Yeah,
and these people are friends. Like, they're just friends.
I think, like I was saying, the small world is they don't really have much of a choice but to be friends with each other. They're the only people that understand each other's
Because it's like a socialite type of atmosphere.
Yeah,
small
for sure.
social
This is
circle.
what, like, there was one show that was kind of like Houston. They showed Houston socialites. I forget what it was. It may not have been in the Bravo world. But it was kind of like that too. It's like, of course they're catty and argue with each other.
They didn't choose
they're
their
the
friends.
only 5 like billionaires in this area. So they have to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that show Billions. Like that's what it's about. Is like you
Billions?
Billions. Yep, on the Stars Network. I don't know.
What are you watching at?
I got a lot of time on my hands, you guys. No, I'm just watching Chernobyl.
Yeah,
my
great.
wife's making me watch Chernobyl. Have you seen this Chernobyl?
No.
Oh,
good.
check it
It's
out.
very
If you
good.
want to really brighten up your day, watch
Really
Chernobyl.
depressing.
Yeah. But like really, really rich people, it's like NBA players. They hang out with each other, and even like guys who are on the road will hang out with guys in the home city
Now,
because they're the only ones who are that big
I want to just
fish.
say one thing. I don't think this is true of very rich people. I think this is true of
Greek nightclub
almost
owners.
rich people who want to be very rich. Like I don't think Kris Jenner hangs out with anyone she doesn't want to hang out with. But
I don't think she likes
I
any
think
person
like
other than herself.
whatever. You can pick whoever, but like I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio hangs out with anyone he doesn't want to hang out with,
except for like his drug dealers.
No, he's not even hanging out with them. He's microdosing. It's fine. Everything's fine.
He still needs to get those drugs.
His assistant gets it for him. It's fine.
Probably,
my point is, these people who are like going to every social event, who are like they're social climbing. There's a difference. Like they want to be.
So where's the power dynamic there between these two people, between Luz and Myra? Who's the one that's trying to climb? Who's not? Because it seems like Myra is going to be on the show longer. Whose side do you take, Tom?
What do you think?
Did you have a side?
I really like the girl who came in and ordered a mimosa with no orange juice.
Oh, that was
she wasn't trying to be funny.
That was such a bold move. And
was that Lorena?
That was Luz.
That was Luz. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're like, that sounds like that's out of a Wisconsin move.
There you go. Give me a mimosa, no OJ.
And the
one of those barista
mimosas,
was like,
no OJ.
So just wine?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just order a wine?
Because it sounds tacky.
No, because we have
breakfast.
Mimosas in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it was in the morning or afternoon.
That does sound like
I mean, it seemed like a brunch. It's fine. You're allowed to.
Did it seem like
a
a drinking culture though? Some of the Bravo shows are like they're drinking all the time. The women in Real Houses of New York, a lot more drinking than the women in the West Coast shows.
Yes, I would agree with that.
For sure.
Yeah,
the women in Dallas drink a shitload. There's shit going down at the Roundup that will flip your lid. Okay.
Yes, I would agree with that.
But like these women, nobody was like even close to being drunk.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I do think.
So yeah, I do like that Luz was like, I'm gonna get a little toasted in this instance. I
would say that where this fight started was essentially like Myra is a very uptight person.
Yeah,
and Luz is not. And
did she call her anal?
Luz called Myra anal many times. I mean, the first episode, I think they said the word anal at least 50 times. It was It was wild.
Is that like... So that's a very American word, I assume.
Very sensitive anal.
Yeah, like why would they... And it seemed like they were hitting it, they were touching on it.
I believe Luz is like American.
It seemed like they were saying it they were saying it on purpose because they knew it was...
They're all American, they're all citizens, I know.
But they know it's funny to say anal, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because
well, they meant that she's like
Can I just tell you, like, there was one point during the argument where Myra was like... Myra was like, what do you mean by anal? And she was like, like you're uptight, whatever. And then she was like, Myra was like, I went to college and anal. And she gave like, this was like 2 days after the original comment about her being anal.
The first anal.
Yeah. And then she like gave the official, like, if you looked up what does like, if
you look up a picture of anal in the dictionary, you'll see this face.
Don't just Google anal, but like if you looked up the Freudian term...
I'm going to pull it up on my phone, Tom. If you want to just hand me your phone.
Here, can you just get my work computer
I'm just going to Google
Mexican
really
No, but she like recited like if you had Googled like the Freudian term anal, she was like, I went to college and this is what it means. So I don't think that's what it means. And she was like, I know, I was just using it like how people use it.
In everyday language,
yeah.
And
what did you did you think it was funny that they were using that word, or were you just like, why are they doing this?
I dated a girl named Janelle, and it was spelled J anal, so that joke has run its course with me.
That's tough.
Poor girl.
I know.
Just change it.
It was Janal, like the whole.
Just tell people it's spelled different.
So just JANAL.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to put 2 N's in there.
Yeah, you got to like
that
lie.
was. Yeah. So it was
Janal.
just.
It's not like everybody's going to demand to see your birth certificate. You know what I mean? Oh man. I want to talk about Myra and the conversation she had with her husband. So they go to like dinner, or it was like a wine tasting or something like that.
No, it was dinner, but it was after her and Luz met up for coffee.
Fernando.
First of all, he hot. That guy looks like he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing.
Thank God he's not a
hot.
fucking Greek nightclub owner, because
he would be slaying.
He would be getting through the old souvlaki or whatever.
Ass buffet.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, that guy's like probably tall and like cool too.
Yeah,
but he did say something to her that I was like, he definitely told it to her like it is, you know what I mean?
And she didn't like hearing what she needed to hear, and he was exactly right. So he's wise,
okay,
too.
so what did he say? He said, he tells her, don't be funny
You're smart and witty.
Because
so
you're
he complimented
mean.
her.
Yeah.
And then he said he did a compliment sandwich, like the total.
Yes, he did.
Trick.
He
He's
did.
like,
Yes,
here's
he
something nice. Here's the shit you don't want to hear. You got to hear, and then here's a nice thing
Yes.
too. And he sandwiched it together and forced
Can I
it
ask
to
a
her.
question? Was he also wearing his like business's shirt? Like
Maybe.
I think it
Yeah.
had But I do like that you mentioned that because he definitely was like, look, you're very funny. But some people can't handle that. Also, stop being a bitch, and you're the best.
Yep, compliment sandwich her.
So you think he was like on the right side though? Because for me,
Yeah.
it was like I as somebody who works in comedy, I've been told stop trying to be funny a million times, for sure. In my life, in my work life, by my wife probably.
And I was gonna
Maybe.
say it the other way around. You have definitely told me to stop being mean and petty. Like
Yes.
I'm famously not interested in being friends with anyone. So
Famously. Yes.
So I will burn shit to the ground, and Ryan's
Yeah.
always like,
I want everybody to like me.
take a
That's like
step
part
back.
of being a host or
Yeah.
being like on
That's your
on a
job.
show. Yeah, that's your job. Right?
I can't turn it off, or
Yeah.
it might not go back on.
What I could lose. Like that's the whole feeling, right? Just want people to love me. But so I'm kind of like a Greek nightclub owner
Yeah.
of feelings.
okay,
You know what I mean?
well, all right.
But I did feel like part of her mentality was probably like, well, that's like part of who I am is my personality. But he was right because she was not only losing the battle, she was also not taking the high road. You know what I mean? Or she was like, I'm just going to be my same old self and be kind of a bitch and make a joke about this. And then, and it'll be whatever it is. But then she would keep running into that same issue. So I guess he was
can I
right.
say
I
one
just
thing,
hated
though?
hearing it because I was like, I'm fucking reliving my life watching this woman be told not
Can I
to
say
make a
one
joke.
thing though? When he said try not talking or whatever, and she did that like very like deep sigh and just like I was like that. She is just putting those feelings into a box and shoving them because like,
Yeah, I wonder where she
like,
lets
could
it out.
feel that like that moment where you're just
at
like
the gun range.
Yeah.
Probably.
yeah, or that moment where like you know you're wrong, but you want to fight it because like you're just like don't tell me that. And
This
you
is
wanna
how
be
she
petty,
fought it.
and
She
was
went,
just,
I'll have the salmon and he'll have the ribeye. She told the waitress that. He probably fucking hates ribeye.
Yeah. he's like, God damn it, I'm a fucking porterhouse guy, and she fucking knows
Fucking
it.
knows I hate ribeye.
Can I say one other
That's
thing
how
though
she
about
got
that
him.
scene? So in Bravo World, they always show them ordering, which I appreciate because I
love
love
that.
to know
I
what they
love that.
order. I love knowing
Love
it.
seeing
I love ribeye though. She
Yeah,
wouldn't
me
have
too.
got me.
That's my
my
preferred
favorite.
cut.
Yeah,
For sure.
Me too.
Like Myra, if you're
Wait, I
listening,
have
we're
a
two
what would-
guys.
if
You know.
if you were gonna spite order your partner something, what
Ooh,
would
this
it
is a
be?
good question.
Ooh, a spite
Like,
order.
if you were
You're at
gonna,
a
like-
fancy
yeah,
restaurant.
you're at a fancy
It's a nice
restaurant.
restaurant, so all the food's good.
Okay.
So what do you order, Molly? That would
Molly will have beet 3 ways. That's where you get a beet
Ooh.
salad
Yeah,
Oh,
a
I'd-
nice
oh,
beet salad.
I'd be so
with
I love
beet
curious.
salad.
soup, and then
Borscht, yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a dessert, like a beet ice
Ooh, I'd
cream
be
type
so
of thing. Yeah.
curious.
beet 3 ways.
And then
She'll
just,
have that. And I'll have the ribeye.
Yeah.
That's
And-
good. That's good. That's infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What would you order for me?
scallops.
I find them daunting.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. You,
Yeah.
like they're fancy. Like
I'm
like
also-
They're too fancy for me, and I can't bitch because I don't know if they're cooked right or wrong.
yeah, like and Ryan
Yeah.
just doesn't
Is this
like.
right?
Yeah,
Should
but
I be Chef
are
Ramsay
they
on the
more
or-
cooked?
And you
Is
know,
it
Chef
good?
Ramsay he's very specific about
Yeah.
how you cook shallots.
Shells?
Shallots?
Scallops.
Scallops.
Yeah.
Probably scallops
Yeah, I don't know
too.
what I would
Scallop?
order for you because you are notoriously picky, but you are eating meat now. You eat meat now.
I am.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Hey,
I would
shout
order
out.
for you. So, something that is like
I already know.
normal, but like probably pasta. You don't seem to like pasta.
I don't like pasta.
I would order you pasta.
That's not true. I like pasta.
Big
no, I don't like.
bowl
I don't like red
pasta.
sauce.
Women aren't even
anything-
allowed to have pasta anymore.
Anything eggplant also.
Oh yeah, you hate eggplant.
I hate eggplant in all its forms except eggplant
Baba
fries.
ganoush?
No, fuck. Ugh.
It's like yeah.
Ugh.
I don't think I've ever
Eggplant-
had good baba ganoush.
You know what? I went to Red Claw the other day. I had pretty good baba.
You know who you got to know if you want to have
Shout
good
out.
baba ganoush? Greek
Greek
Club owner.
No way.
And have
No
some
way. You
baklava.
gotta
Hey,
get
that's
like.
the trade-off.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
you gotta
Hey,
get like a Moroccan fellow or somebody to make it for you.
baba ganoush. It's
Yeah.
like multicultural.
It is, but
I don't know. Yeah. Well, he's gonna be.
anyway,
You don't want to know where he's getting the baba ganoush.
I got a question
I'll
for
tell
you
that.
guys about the show. Do you think these girls who are done up and obviously getting some work done, do you think they live in a fear knowing that there are 100 women behind them that would do anything to take their spot with their men?
Great question. Well, with their men or on the show?
San Antonio.
Well, these rich guys could just make them rich again.
Yeah.
You know? Do you think
I
with
wonder-
the Mexican culture...
I wonder if
ask
these
you a
women are
question.
religious.
The one is.
Seem
The
kind
one was.
of traditional, conservative.
Lorena did like a lot of the like crossing.
Yeah, Santeria.
But let me ask you a question. Why
I don't practice Santeria.
Why do you think the men are making the money on the show?
Well, the one guy was like in construction. They were showing like he is gravel or some bullshit.
Yeah,
like,
he's
Yeah,
like
the
gravel
contractors
king.
always make like way more money than you
yeah,
expect.
exorbitant amount.
Because Stephanie from Dallas, her husband's
Yeah.
a contractor, and they are like crazy rich.
Yeah, I mean, in the United States,
You know what it is? It's
that's-
that they can buy cheap homes and redo them and then they look rich.
maybe I don't know. Yeah, their homes didn't strike me. At like some of the women,
Well,
like the
Texas is
Atlanta
so
homes
cheap,
are
though.
super big. So that wasn't it. But like,
But Texas homes are
if your
so
question
cheap.
is, should these
Sorry.
are these women? Do they seem like they live in some kind of fear that they'll be replaced?
Yeah.
It depends on the Bravo show.
Because I think they feel like I wrote down that these women kind of seem like they're trophies, and if they don't shine, they're going to move to the back of the shelf and be replaced with a new trophy.
But except for that Myra woman, she's like, I'm my own shit. I make my
Yeah,
own money.
except for
like,
that girl. But I kind of felt like the one girl was talking about the religious one. What was it?
Lorena.
Lorena,
yeah.
was talking about, we were not doing well, but we love each other, and it was like, do you really think that this guy...
No, I think you're right. They probably do, probably.
This guy was probably fucking up bad, and she still put up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do you think any of these women have had sex with Tony Parker? I'm just wondering. We know
He's
that he's
French.
a known philanderer. He definitely had sex with a teammate's wife.
They're too young.
Are you
I
sure?
feel like he likes an older lady. I mean, how much older was, what's her name than him?
From Desperate Housewives? I don't know.
I mean, she looks great. Like, don't
But
get
he
me
was
wrong.
boning out, Brent Barry's wife, and she must have been younger than her.
What's that guy I like from this team that's like...
Like, handsome-wise?
Yeah.
Which team? Is it Dirk Nowitzki?
No. Fully
Yeah.
100% no.
The German freak.
You like a 7-foot German.
No. The guy that, you told me his age, and then I was like, I gotta move along.
That I told you was what?
Age.
Oh, too young? Oh, Ricky Rubio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not letting my wife near Ricky Rubio. I'm not a fucking moron.
He's too young, though.
Yeah.
When you told me his age, it really shocked me.
My wife, please meet Ricky Rubio. I'll just see myself out.
I'll just take these scallops to go because
Anyways, I gotta run
She ordered me a
upstairs.
bunch of scallops, and I
Yeah.
was hanging out with Ricky
Well,
Rubio.
I'm breaking out. I'm allergic, so I'll be in the other room with the Benadryl. You
I
guys
mean,
figure out what you're
I
gonna do.
Ricky Rubio. I just
I
want to
sleep
clarify
really
Ricky
sound on
Rubio.
Benadryl,
Yeah.
too.
Ricky
I'm
Rubio's
not letting
not
my
my
wife
number
hang out with
one.
Ricky Rubio.
He's not my number one. in
I'm not letting my
basketball.
wife near Tony Parker either, though.
Oh, I don't know.
Get out
Or
of here.
Tony Robbins.
Big hands, big mitts.
But,
on
yeah,
that
he's
guy.
got big mitts, too.
He's in trouble though, right?
Yeah,
now, right?
he's-
Have you
yeah.
talked about
Of
that on your
course
show?
he is. And Ryan, you watched
You
that
seen that
documentary,
documentary?
and you were like,
No, I
Check it out.
Okay.
It's good. I think it's on
He saw
Netflix.
this documentary, and he was like, I think he's actually a really cool guy. And I was like, no, he's got to be a horrible person. And she
And
was
it
like, I don't
turns
know.
out he was.
Yes.
It's a happy ending. Well, I can't wait to see how Chernobyl turns out. Yeah, so, anyways, he kind of dresses like a Greek nightclub owner. If somebody was like Tony Robbins,
Right,
Greek
I
nightclub
just want
owner,
to say
I'd
this,
believe
though.
it.
I think that you, growing up in a small town, I feel like you don't really, have the idea of, a Greek business owner. You,
No, not at
yeah,
all.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
There were
we had a
nice
Greek
Italian
restaurant in
people my
Jackson.
business. Really?
I played soccer with his daughter, and he owned a restaurant, and guess what? They're divorced because he was fucking around.
Well, you know.
I worked for a Greek gentleman, and I liked him very much as
And then
a
what
boss.
happened?
And then he told
Plug your ears, dog.
he told
Yep.
people that he bone zoned me, and I was like, "Girl,
What?
I'm 17. You shouldn't tell people that." Because we did not.
Okay.
Okay.
If he's listening, congrats to you, buddy.
Hey,
So
Gino.
Go.
we're celebrating our anniversary tonight, Gino. You son of a bitch.
Well, I ghosted him at my job, so fuck
Nice,
you,
good
Gino.
for you.
There you
So
go.
I think we answered some of those questions. These women, my grand take on these women is, I haven't found what it is about them that is so interesting
Yeah.
that they needed a show.
Oh, yeah. I just think that it's small. Like I said, a small group.
Yeah.
It's different. There's so many reality shows.
Yeah.
There's probably 10 guys in a room thinking, What the fuck?
What can we do next?
What the fuck do we get? Rich Mexican women living?
Yeah, that's something
Boom,
different.
set.
Yeah.
Green light. Let's go. We didn't hear that.
Prince.
It's not on the board.
Well,
Is it on the board?
Yeah.
I don't want to get too serious about this, but I do think that like there is a problem
There's a market
with
for
the
it.
Housewives world that it is very heavily
ethnocentric.
white,
Yeah.
and that there should be like more diversity. Like Potomac and Atlanta have
Just because there's money to be made in everywhere.
Yeah, and so like the idea that like Bravo is not like, hey, we should get Latin people on our shows or whatever. They're also just greenlit a show about Indian Americans.
I would watch that. I would be fascinated by that.
Not Native Americans, Indian.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But still, regardless. But so I think that's interesting, and like I think that Bravo like diving into like different cultures is like cool, and I'm like cool. I'm here for it.
I was fast. I was like a white dude. I'm just like I don't know anything about this.
You guys are looking at it the wrong way. They think they can make a buck on it. They don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They're like America.
I'm naturally fascinated by like all the people. I'm like okay, all right, like that's just the way I am. But yeah, I thought it was fine. It didn't blow me away the way that like. I really liked, what was the show in Mexico City that they were doing?
Monday Night Football?
You liked, oh God, what was it? Mexican Dynasty.
Mexican Dynasties. It was like this show, only it was in Mexico City. Okay.
I didn't
it was just like, it was more foreign. It felt like it's San Antonio. I just don't think San Antonio as a city is as
Mexican Dynasties, they were trying really hard to they were trying to make it so goofy, and I didn't. I liked the show, but I didn't like it. So
anyway, this is sort of last takes, grand takes.
Okay, grand takes.
Yep. What's your final take on this?
Oh, I'm never watching it again.
That's our final question.
We're like, would you watch this ever again?
You would never watch it again.
How the fuck do I relate to that? You know,
there's
nothing relatable to me.
Yeah, I would agree. I found this to be, like, unrelatable. I would not watch this one again. This was not one that I like some of the Real Housewives ones. I'll watch them.
Okay.
Like, I fucking totally get, like, I love New York because it's, like, those women want to rule the fucking world. Yeah. They are not as submissive as these women.
Oh, God. Not even close.
And they walk into a room and they want to fucking own it.
Also, the women in New York, none of them are married.
Right. So they're just, like, it's a different world. This one, I agree with you. Like, the women are just, like, kind of followers. More followers than leaders. So, like, I agree with that.
The hook at the end, you know how your narrator always said something?
Yeah.
If she would have said, and find out next week for who shot a guy. Take a guess. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, next week record on the DVD. Like, who shot a guy?
Somebody bought a gun.
And now
they shot themselves.
This show really reminds me of Mob Wives, where it's, like, these like big personalities, but like the underlying point of the show is they're kind of like second to the men, right?
Right.
Like, so that they like define themselves by men, and like I don't want to talk shit on Mob Wives because one of my favorite shows of all time.
Because they'll kill you,
you'll have
rest in peace, Big
cement
Ange.
shoes.
But no, one of my favorite shows of all time. But there is this weird thing where it's like
feeding the scallops.
I won't be able to.
But yes, it does remind me of that, where it's like a lot of big talk about how like bold and tough you are, but like in reality, it's like what I don't really know what you do. Yeah. Like you're selling makeup or whatever, you know. Yeah. So.
Okay, well that kind of puts a button on it and a bow on it.
Sure.
I agree with you. I think we've got some other episodes that'll be coming up where we'll talk about The Bachelorette again. I know is active right now, so if you're a listener, we'll definitely be talking about that. You guys talk about that on your show at all?
Once in a while, there was a new news story about the I can share it because this will be out or whatever. I got a story about meteorologists went off on people on national TV because they came in Oklahoma and interrupted the Bachelorette, and he was doing his teleprompter and he got like word like people from social media are telling you to wrap it up and go back to the show, and he's like, Jesus Christ, guys, this is people's lives are in danger, and he just loses his mind. So that's going to be on the show.
Oh, nice!
And it's about the Bachelorette.
No, I didn't. I'm gonna have to check.
No, he rips into everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with him, but also like
not the time, but. You're meteorologist.
There's a tornado every fucking 5 minutes.
I guess it gets a lot more stage time.
Yeah, and also it's like when they're that kind of stuff, they repeat the same thing like over and over. It's like just run it across the bottom, guys. I'll get in the basement. I'll watch The Bachelorette.
You know what? If the network actually cared, they would extend into commercial time and catch The Bachelorette up.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're not taking
They've
the money.
done that.
They have done that?
There was another show that it might have been Big Brother or something.
Oh, okay.
Where they extended it, but it was a live show, so they had the ability to do that. But was it Big Brother? I don't know. There was something where they did extend it because it was like this big finale for a reality show.
Right.
Or something.
Yeah, you'd have to. If it was like a big thing. Like if it was like the NBA Finals, you wouldn't cut into it because
how much would you murder if like they came on for our 2-inch snowstorm alert that they always do?
Yeah.
Right when at the end of The Bachelor.
Oh yeah. If I see your goddamn
Bachelor,
face.
I'm not as upset about, but like like if it was like the season finale of like a Big Brother, I'd
Look,
be like,
Mark
I'd lose my
Baden.
shit.
Yeah, we could have.
It was a local weather person.
We're in the trouble. We could have the Super Bowl ruined by our little stupid snowstorm.
Not worried about
February.
it. Speaking of Super Bowl, check out the Super Bowl podcast. Tom Klein.
Thank you so
thanks,
much
guys.
for
Off the
coming.
Rails.
Thanks for
with
having
Tom
me. It
and
was
Mark.
fun.
And we're going to put all the stuff into the beginning of the episode. So just thank you so much. And then come see me at my shows, Voyager and Deep Space. Those are
Check out your shows on Off the Rails.
Check out my show on Off the Rails. It was super fun. Nate Ford, one of my comedian friends, he's out in Idaho now, but we Skyped him in. He was super funny. So
you were ripping them.
I was burning
You were
Nate
digging
Ford
them hard.
just as much
You were
as I
just
could.
working the ribs
Well, they mentioned
over and over.
George R.R. Martin, who looks just fucking like Nate.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah,
he's like a young. Oh
yeah,
my
like
goodness,
a young,
I never
handsome
thought about it.
George R.R. Martin. If you're listening, Nate.
Can I say
So go to
one thing
iTunes
about
and
Nate
download
Ford
both
really
of
quick?
those. Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, is that what it's listed as in iTunes?
Yeah, Off the Rails with Tom and Mark. Off the Rails TM is all of our social media
Okay.
stuff. But if you
Perfect.
just punch it into the internet, Off the Rails with Tom and Mark, you'll find a million ways to find us.
Yeah.
If you can't find us, you're not looking.
And download Dana Ehrman's episode because she's one of our friends too. But what were you saying, Nick?
I just want to say one thing about Nate Ford. The first time I met him was like the first time I drank after having a kid for the first time.
Oh, you got bombed.
And I got like super bombed because
He's a good person
I
to
was
get bombed with.
unaware.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for like what it's like to have your first drinks after having a kid for the first time,
Yeah.
and it was shocking.
Are you gonna? I thought she was gonna admit something like Greek nightclub style here.
He was a perfect gentleman the whole night.
Oh well, we'll end on that note.
He was a Greek nightclub owner the whole night.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you so much.
We'll catch you next time on Welcome to Reality.